Robin Hood in the real world. Robin Hood, the hero originating in the 13th century, has been passed down the generations. Tales of his rebellious antics and gang of merry men have formed Robin Hood into the lovable outlaw we know today. Despite the legend being over 800 years old, Robin Hood continues to fill our books, TV screens, and features in tourist attractions all over the UK, Nottingham especially. Before delving into the effect Robin Hood has had in the real world, we need to look at the legend. Where did Robin Hood come from? Was he a real person, or was he more than one person? Or was he simply a figment of imagination that wove his way into campfire stories? Honestly, no one knows for sure whether the legend of Robin Hood is based off a real historical person. It is still highly debated today, but a few possible candidates have appeared throughout history that could suggest the existence of a real Robin Hood. After the mid-13th century, Robe Hood or Robin Hoods became common names for criminals or outlaws. There are records of Robert Hood, a tenant of the Archbishop of York, being described as a fugitive in 1225. Another suggestion was Robert Hood, a servant of King Edward II. However, all of the evidence is weak, and the names Robert or Robin Hood were common in medieval England. It seems as though the real identity of Robin Hood will remain legend. The way many people see Robin Hood is as a hooded figure clothed in green attire, with impressive archery skills and a band of merry men following him as he steals from the rich to help the poor. Thanks to literature, theatre, films and TV shows, Robin Hood's image has been modified and elaborated into this romanticised image. Although some take a different approach, for example in the minds of children, thanks to the 1973 Disney adaptation, Robin Hood is seen as a mischievous fox. The legend of Robin Hood has had a heavy influence in the media. Since 1908, when Robin Hood was first seen in the silent film Robin Hood and His Merry Men, directed by Percy Snow, there have been around 200 adaptations of the legend in TV and film. The British TV series The Adventures of Robin Hood is well known for its catchy theme tune, which was then also adapted into a Weetabix advert. This show was broadcast between 1955 and 1960 in both the UK and the USA, drawing in 32 million viewers per week. In 2010, Ridley Scott's film adaptation of the Robin Hood legend featuring Russell Crowe was released in 53 countries, ranging from the UK to Australia to Japan. The film was spread across the world and grossed nearly 200 million. But did the film affect Nottingham, and how? Although it was actually filmed in Wales and London instead of Nottingham, Nottingham was still heavily mentioned in the movie to make it clear where the story was set. This gave a huge opportunity for tourism in Nottingham, as people worldwide would see it as an important place to visit in the UK. According to the Nottingham Post, Mike Balcombe, tourism leader for Experience Nottingham, predicted that the film could bring £46 million to the local economy if visitor numbers increased by 10%. Nottingham tried to make itself a holiday hotspot by renaming May Robin Hood Month, where activities such as jousting shows, reenactments and family fun days took place. This was predicted to bring 150,000 people to the castle alone. But once this was all over, how has Nottingham kept up with the demand from tourists? Due to Robin Hood's high reputation, tourists expect a lot when visiting Nottingham. One man who has taken up the role of bringing Robin Hood to life in 21st century Nottingham is Aid Andrews, otherwise known as his alter ego Ezekiel Bone. He runs the Robin Hood Town Tour in Nottingham city centre.
I've been Robin Hood for over 20 years now. I came to Nottingham in 1993 looking for Robin Hood, and there was very little to do with Robin Hood here, so I thought I'll become Robin Hood, and here I am. So over 20 years as Robin Hood, and I've been doing the Robin Hood Town Tour for the last 3 or 4 years. It really depends. There's a season, a summer season when it's busier, but even the numbers fluctuate there. It could be anything from a handful, a small handful, 3 or 4 people, 5 people, to the height of this season, 30, 40 people. But of course I'm also doing private tours, which might be a coach load of, say, 30, 40, 50 people as well. Well, very important, because Nottingham is world famous because of its association with Robin Hood. And he's a global figure, isn't he? He's world famous. So he's certainly a key attractor to this great city. People want to see the mighty Norman castle and the great Sherwood Forest, which are part of this legend. So it's really quite central to people coming here from around the world. It's very important, yes. Robin Hood's a champion of positive human ideals, isn't he? He's world famous, and there's a message there contained within the legend, and people want to believe, which is why they come here. And unfortunately, the city doesn't provide anything for them to do or see or believe in, and that's why I'm successful in the work I'm doing. So I'm providing the people with what they want. Robin Hood. I am Robin Hood. Of course, Robin Hood has a very important role to play in the 21st century. And there's great irony that people are arguing over whether someone existed or not. But the fact of the matter is, he is world famous. And his role as a vehicle or a medium promoting the city is vitally important. And that's essentially what I'm doing with the Robin Hood Town Tour, using this world famous character that people want to see to promote the greater city. And of course, there's far more to Nottingham than Robin Hood. And this is a trick, really, which the city has missed for forever. And the fact that they've missed this is wrong. In fact, it's disgraceful. It's criminal, really. And that's why I'm here, fighting the good fight, righting wrongs, putting culture on the streets of this great city for the people of the world. But it's also not just for tourists, it's about educating locals. So if people understand something, then they appreciate it. If they appreciate it, they tend to take care of it. I am Robin Hood. Robin Hood lives.
So what does Nottingham offer when it comes to investigating and enjoying the legend? The Galleries of Justice Museum offers free entry to an exhibition highlighting the story of Robin Hood, where he came from and how the legend has changed. It also aims to make the exhibition fun for the whole family, including a dress-up area for children. Besides the Robin Hood statue outside, and plans to use Robin Hood as the leader in their new interactive gallery on Nottingham's history, Nottingham Castle rarely mentions Robin Hood. Also, many pubs, roads and places have adopted Robin Hood into their names to attract people. But besides these, Nottingham is lacking when it comes to educating people on the legend of Robin Hood. People recognise the name, and that's it. They come to Nottingham hoping to find out more, but are their expectations met? Every year during the summer holidays, Nottingham hosts the Robin Hood Festival, a week-long event celebrating Robin Hood. It features the famous characters of the legend, Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham, along with jousting tournaments and comedy acts. The experienced Nottinghamshire websites describe it as education and entertainment for all ages. In 2009, this festival drew around 70,000 visitors in a week. And of course, Aid Andrews offers his Robin Hood Town Tour, an exciting 2.5-hour journey around Nottingham as he explains the truth behind Robin Hood, along with remarkable facts about the city itself. We also spoke to a few members of the public about their opinions on Robin Hood.
I'm Ruby and I'm from Stapleford.
I'm Anna and I'm from Easton.
It's Hannah and I'm from Nottingham.
Kai, I'm from Morning.
Cassie.
Isabel, and we're both from Nottingham.
I guess so. I don't know really. It is quite a Nottingham thing. You know, Robin Hood is from Nottingham, so I guess so.
Yeah, I basically agree with Anna.
Yes. Yeah, because what else have we got except for grey buildings and a load of students? No offence, I used to be one, but yes, definitely.
It brings a lot of a tourist attraction.
That's kind of the main thing I think we
Because my aunt went to Australia, and people in Australia know Nottingham for Robin Hood, so it is
kind of a big thing, man.
I don't think there is much to do with Robin Hood in Nottingham. No, not really. So I guess so. If Nottingham is a very Robin Hood place, it should be.
I guess, yeah. Like, places which argue that Robin Hood actually came from there, like Lancashire and Yorkshire places. They have like loads of stuff about him, how he might have come from there, but he did actually come from here and we don't have much about him.
Yes. Yeah, like bring back Tales of Robin Hood and burn down Tesco.
I think there should, because I think it used to be quite a big thing, and there used to be a lot of things you could do with Robin Hood. But now I don't see it as much. It's just kind of just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like not much at all.
Yeah. For something that's seen as so big, I think there should be something.
Not really.
You do.
Yes.
Right.
Whether he was real or not, the legend of Robin Hood has affected Nottingham's popularity vastly, enticing visitors from all over the world. And be sure that this legend will not be vanishing anytime soon.